Hi, Mr. Neil here again. Doing it a wee bit different. I've not got my teeth in. Got them in now. I got different teeth, mates. That's me falling apart now. Kevin and Neil here, 3/4 dead, as I call myself, as a deteriorating health. But I can smile about it, and smile I do. Anyway, I was just reflecting there, and I was thinking of when I was just first sentenced, and when the judge sent me down for life and said I could never be released. I cannot conceive that any Home Secretary will ever feel safe to release you. For my opinion, you're a dangerous psychopath who may never be released. Take him down, and down they took me. And because he said may never be released, that actually led to my release 30 years later, because we managed to fight it and had a long fight for a long time. But their words was what actually got me out. Because if he said you should never be released, I would never have been released. I'd have died innocent man in prison with no chance of clearing my name in any way, shape or form. And that's just the way things are in prison for me, and what England did to me. It's, you can't make it up. Yeah, it's just how things were. And I remember, when I was in the Scrubs prison, I was very angry, as you would be back then, very confused, angry and despondent, finished with life, thinking there's no life left in me I could ever have outside the boundaries and the walls and bars of my surrounds. Prison, that was my life. I didn't want a life of prison, but I didn't want to die either, and I wasn't given the satisfaction of killing myself. I was an innocent man, as simple as that. I didn't kill Mark. But anyway, that's just the way things were after I was sentenced and sent to the Scrubs. And I remember that was a while afterwards, and there was a big commotion going about, and Dennis Neilson was arriving at the prison. This is a serial killer. He killed 15, 16 people, and his last victim he killed was a Scotsman, and he brutally killed him. And he used to keep the bodies, keep them warm in baths and all that, and then still sleep with them. Necrophiliac. And Killing for Comfort is a book that came out about him. He used to be a policeman, this man, Dennis Neilson. At one stage of his life, while he was killing, he even actually took one of his saucepans into an event to cook beans in, and that same saucepan is a saucepan he cooked a head in. And the night before, and the next day he's in, his work colleagues and all that, and having beans and no doubt pigs in blankets or something. And the head was in the fort the night before, where he was stirring the beans. And he was a strange man. There was a massive commotion about, and he was coming to the prison for accumulated visits, which is his first time really to come through the system and be a normal population as he was, like that. Because Kinsella, David Kinsella, slashed him in the Scrubs, and he ran up to him, Neilson standing, smoking a fag, and this guy ran up to him and he just tanned him, ripped him down the face, and then run straight to the screws, Neilson just took the fag out his mouth and looked at him and like, you shouldn't have done that. Anyway, all hell broke loose, and Costello was away down the dungeons, as he ran straight to the screws. The same thing he done was he stuck a pen in Suckler's eye when he attacked him. He's the sort of individual who was attacking characters that was well known, where he would get the maximum publicity to enhance his own reputation. And that's not what sort of person is that. It's okay to do a piece, yeah, fucking do them proper, but don't make a career out of it to bust yourself up as if you are something. It's just an act of brutality and violence that you're perpetrating on a brutal and violent person. It cancels each other out. It's not actually newsworthy, is it? And it's not a shape where you want to be to call yourself a man by that resume, because that's a coward, especially when you're onto the screws. But anyway, that's his life, and he's done other things in the system that bears testament to that cowardice. But that's not my story to tell. But I tell it nonetheless on my part that I know of him and why he did what he did. But anyway, Neilson, of course, he's come through for the visits, and there's a lot of commotion. And I remember, he was in the recess, and I was sick of life and everything, and, I was angry and all that. And of course, I didn't want to kill myself. I just lost it, I suppose. And I thought, I'm going to fucking take that cunt out. Mad thoughts. So I had a guitar, so I took the guitar, the thinnest one off, and I make nunchuckles out of it with the wood and the wire in the middle. Anyway, he's in the recess the next morning. He arrived. He was in the recess and he was washing, and I sneaked in, just in behind him. And what I did is I put the noose, the wooden nunchuckle noose thing, it dropped. Actually, what it was, and I went in and I put it over his head. And as I was going to tighten it round him, I put it over his head and I'm pulling it. And I looked in the mirror, and the mirror was reflecting his full face, and his eyes are looking into the mirror, looking straight into my eyes, and my eyes are looking into his eyes. I'm like that as I'm holding him. I'm like, wow. Anyway, suffice to say, I didn't continue with my actions and strangle him. In the mad moment that I had, I actually took the thing back off, and I was fucking looked at me, and I invited him over to the cell, and we went back to my cell, and I had a bucket of hooch, or a gallon of hooch, and I actually ended up drinking a gallon of hooch with him all that day and evening in association. And the whole thing, I thought I was absolutely a nutter, total nuts. And I sat there and I spent the night with him, drinking hooch, getting merry, but listening to the tales that he'd tell me. And this guy, his heart was dark and his eyes were pits of pools of malice and evil, pure cold evil. Looking into his eyes, I felt shivers. He was that cold, and there was something about him. It was difficult, man. You felt it off him. He was just really, really, really epitome of evil. Cold, calculated, no feelings, nothing. And just the stare of a lunatic. But, we had an interesting chat that night, and I've never forgotten it. I've always remembered, because what would have been if I would have went through with strangling him? Then I'd have been no better than anyone else, and I'd have done a life sentence differently, because I would have took someone's life. Not like I took a life up to that, because I didn't kill Mark, and not in any way, shape or form, and there's nothing in this world that can justify them saying that I did. I've asked for every chemical inducement, lie detectors, you name it, I've asked for them to do upon me, polygraphs and everything, hypnosis, and they've refused every time. I know, my God knows I didn't kill Mark, and God judges ultimately in the end, and that has kept me saying my crime is I didn't stop him being killed. I was there along with others, I didn't stop him, and I live with that torment in my mind of how things would have been different if I had that strength in me to stop what happened that night. But it was a night of lunacy, drugs, drink, and total distortion, madness and brutality, sadly. Yeah, Mark lost his life. I lived with that and done 30 years as, the perpetrator of his murder, as he said. But I didn't kill Mark. I was innocent. I am innocent, and I've been innocent, because it can't change, because you can't change the truth. But getting back to Neilson, my God, that was a cold burn. And incidentally, I met the other one, Donald Neilson, Dennis Neilson and Donald. Donald Neilson was a Black Panther. He was the #1 public enemy with Leslie Whittle when he kidnapped her and kept her doing the well, and then she ended up being strangled and killed by him not being able to get back, or leaving her to her demise and not telling the police where her location was while he was trying to extort money. He was a tiny little lad, and I was in full settlements. He was released from the SSUs, Special Secure Units, into normal location, to mix with the normal criminals, as they call us, a fucking normal criminal. Full Sutton was one of the dangerous prisons and environments I've ever been in my life. Very, very dangerous and dark, sharp corners and malice fucking stairwells. It's a crazy place it was. But yeah, you had to have hairs in your chest to walk the landings. That's for sure. But there were some really interesting people there, and that's where I met Donald Neilson. Also, I used to walk around the yard with him and talk to him and that, and he has some of his stories. But he was a strange, sort of resolute individual, militarised in his mannerisms, But nonetheless, he did make it to public enemy number one. You know what I mean? My God, I'm a wee cat and all that over there. And all my pictures that I do, my faintings, my views. Aye, aye. This is my domain now. Anyway, that was just a wee catch up I was thinking about when I met, Dennis and thingy. The characters, honestly, I do shake my head because the characters that I did meet, in Neilson, by God, fucking hell. 16 he killed, 17 people. The coldest individual. And as I say that time, looking in that mirror and looking eye to eye, connecting like that with me, got a garrote around his neck, ready to take his life. Strange and weird situation. And I've never spoke about these things publicly or wrote about them ever. I'm doing it now because I believe the whole truth and nothing but the truth should be told. I was never an angel. I was fighting for my life to live as well as to be free and be released. My name cleared. I could have been killed at any time. There was attempts made on me. There was a very difficult environment that I had to work my way through in order to survive and be released like I was one day. Although I was through the appeal courts in my mind, it's always in to be released is through justice, but sadly in England there is no justice, not for people like myself and many others. England knows no mercy, sadly. But this is just another wee tale, just to add on to the continuation of my endurance, the tales of reality within the real walls of prison. Anyway, God bless. Good night. Kevin and you. Bless you.